Hey everybody, this is Tom from Rocket Restorations, and today I'm gonna bring you on a trip. We're taking a national park trip with my kids out to the Dakotas, and really looking forward to going on this trip. And we're gonna mix some car stuff in too. So this is a 1974 Dodge Monaco, of course, Blues Brothers, that I picked up in a wrecking yard in California, and I sold it to a gentleman in Illinois. So he's actually gonna drive out to South Dakota to meet us out there. And we're gonna do a bunch of national park stops. We're gonna do a bunch of cool stuff. So obviously this video is gonna have a lot of car stuff in it, but you know what? I'm gonna mix in some of America's natural beauty, because there's nothing I like more than going out to national parks. First stop is we're stopping by my friend Scott Smith's place. Let's get a new Duster. I don't remember that being here last time. And dropping off some carbs, including the carbs for the 1970 V-Code 6-pack Fury GT. Also dropping off the Subaru carburetor for the guy who bought it, doing him a little favor. No worries there. And he bought some stuff at Spring Fling last year, including some e-body seats that are way back there that now I have to dig out because my stupid canopy window broke, and it's taken 2 months for my canopy place to get one, and it didn't come in time. Stopped in St. Regis, Montana for the best shake ever, and it really is. Milkshake. We're at Glacier National Park, one of my favorite places on earth. Unfortunately, the coolest part about the park we're not gonna be able to do. There's what's called the Road to the Sun, and it's basically built in the side of a cliff, and it goes all the way up to the top of the pass, one of the highest parts of the park. And unfortunately, there was like 8 inches of snow last night, and they closed the road. So we're still gonna be able to drive up to what's called Avalanche Creek to go on a little hike, but we can't have the trailer on us. So luckily at the visitor center here, there's actually a ton of room for RV parking. So I'm gonna dump the trailer so we don't have to deal with it going up the hill. Be way easier. I just bought a ball lock for this too, because I mean, it would be a bummer to get the trailer stolen, but if they stole the car too, of course, maybe with the car on it, it's less likely to get stolen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, I can't tell you how excited I am to see this thing. I nerd out on these things. I don't even know why. For those who don't know, these are white buses that they built in like the 30s for Yellowstone and Glacier National Park. I think they're actually owned by independent companies now, but these are so cool. They have like canvas tops. You can take tours on them in the park. I just love these things. I found a couple a few years ago that were being worked on near Jackson, Wyoming, like in a shop, and they've all been converted to Chevy drivetrains and modern chassis. But I don't know, these things, I think these things are about one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I've always really wanted one of these. This is Lake McDonald, glacier fed lake. It's quite cold. Oh, wow, look at the fresh snow up there from last night. That rain made lots of waterfalls. Where'd the water go? The waterfalls are really running. Look how it just carves through the solid rock there. Hey, some wildlife. Hey, deer. Wow, look at that. Well, drove a little too late last night. I don't, when I'm by myself or with my buddies, usually we drive till 11 or midnight. I try not to do that with the kids, but yeah, we spent a bunch of time in Glacier yesterday because it was so beautiful. So this morning, first stop is Jameson Motors, my friend Matt's place. I restored a couple parts for him for his 1969 Charger, and we're going through here, so I drop off. He's got a couple cars for sale here too. If anybody's interested in these, let me know. The only downside is he is in the middle of Montana, so shipping is a bit of an issue. But yeah, V8 Commando 1965 Sport Fury, bucket seats, console, car. He tried to sell this one to me, but I'm kind of in car purge mode right now. 68 Imperial. Probably going to be a demo derby car, unfortunately. Some nice truck beds. They do a lot of flat beds here. They're out in, you know, ranch country in Montana. I really like their plow truck. That thing is amazingly clean for a plow truck. Nice part is, out here in Montana, they don't really use salt out here. So stuff doesn't rust too bad. I love this place. This place is built in like the 30s, I think, and it's still in business. It's amazing they survived a bankruptcy. I love small town dealers like this. I love dealing with these guys because they've been in business forever, and there's a reason for that. They definitely make do with the space they got. All right, time to go to the Dinosaur Museum. You wanna go to the Dinosaur Museum?
Yay!
So decided to walk the lot a little bit. 392 Durango, really cool. So we'll tell you what the market is on these right now. That's $91,000 MSRP. $18,000 off. Yikes. That was really loud. This is the Great Northern Railway line, the Second Transcontinental Railroad. It's a very busy line. And Firebird, they don't have a very big lot, but they got some neat cars. This is an SRT10. These are getting pretty collectible. Aluminum Viper V10. I thought some of these were sticks. This one's an automatic. Kind of a rare truck. And a Charger. 2023. It's kind of cool. Just went to the Dinosaur Museum in Malta, Montana, but this is the volunteer fire department. Look at that little power wagon. It still has a light bar. Cool New Yorker. Just on a side street. Imperial. This town's got everything. This is the old Ford dealer in town. Kind of cool. Hudson Hornet out here and a Studebaker. Try to get a hold of this dude, because I know there's a bunch of stuff still in here, but it is a Ford dealer, not a Chrysler dealer. But man, what a cool building. How awesome it would be to have that, but they blanked out all the windows, and I'm told the guy's kind of a recluse, doesn't really want to talk to anybody, so there you go. Mustang too. What a cool building. Wow, 70 Super Bee. That's very closely related to the car I'm bringing back. That's a real Super Bee. That's crazy. Well, it didn't get in too late last night. We decided to stop by in this North Dakota town. There's a couple of very cool muscle cars sitting in that shed over there, and I tried to buy them. Actually, see that hangar over there? I actually bought a Plymouth Chrysler used car sign off there about 4 years ago. I wasn't doing YouTube videos at that time. This is cool. It's the old building right here. This used to be the dealership. He was really smart. He closed down in 08 before the bankruptcy because he thought they were going to close him down. Got all the parts returned. When you went to the bankruptcy, they wouldn't return any of the parts. You just had to eat all your inventory. He was smart and closed a little bit earlier. But yeah, OK Implement in North Dakota. A couple really nice muscle cars in there. I'm gonna go see if they're for sale. He said they weren't last time, but you know, the question every answer you don't ask is no. Still not for sale. Oh well, I didn't think they would be, but it was worth a try. All right, now we're going to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. I've never actually been to this one before. Should be interesting. I swear to you, this is not going to turn into a travel YouTube channel, but wow, how awesome is that? This is Theodore Roosevelt National Park, the north unit. We're gonna go to the south unit. It's about 70 miles south, but how pretty is this? There's like a 14-mile drive in and out. We're gonna do that. Wow, that's absolutely beautiful. Again, this is Theodore Roosevelt National Park, the north unit. Not many people make it up here. The CCC Conservative Corps in the 30s built that building over there. It's been there ever since 37. Pretty good spot for a picnic. This is Theodore Roosevelt National Park, South Unit, Painted Canyon. Very cool. Taking my kids on a hike during the hottest part of the day. I may regret that because we're about to head back up. Looks like rays of light coming from heaven. All right, met James in South Dakota, dropping this car off. This is going to Chicago. I'm pretty excited that it's not going to be the booze. What?
Springfield.
Oh, Springfield, sorry.
Yeah.
Springfield, sorry, my bad. I don't know why I always think Chicago with Illinois, but it's going to Springfield. They run the Illinois Police Museum, as you can see their truck right there. Lovely wife over there. And it's not gonna be the Blues Brothers car. I made him promise me that before I sold it to him, so.
Yes, sir.
All right, well.
Illinois State Police.
Yep, I'm really glad this thing's gonna get restored right. Now I'm gonna go meet my family, who's at some random Olive Garden here in town that I dropped them off at, and go join them and go eat some lasagna, so. Made it to Rushmore, late as usual. It's getting dark. Apparently they light up the presidents here pretty soon, but it's so foggy, I really hope we can see them. I'm gonna be super disappointed if I can't see them. It's kind of cool. Walk way up with all 50 states, and you can kind of see it. It kind of comes and goes. Well, it did clear up a little bit. Kind of cool seeing them at night. Ended up in Custer, South Dakota this morning. About to meet my buddy Dale. He's bringing a 1970 Dodge Coronet Plum crazy car to me. I've actually bought this one a couple years ago. I just haven't had a chance to get out here to go get it. So he's just gonna come meet me, and we got lots more kid-friendly stuff today. Crazy Horse, Windy Caves National Park. We found like a mammoth fossil dig. My son's really into fossils right now. And finally, what I came out here to get, a 1970 Coronet in FC7 Plum Crazy paint. Has the fender tag, originally a big block car, which is kind of cool. It was a 3.3 two barrel. I have all the front bumper stuff. It's all here. Fortunately, that fender's a little dinged up. I'm gonna do a whole video on 70 Coronets, probably on this car soon, because I just think the development history of these things is fascinating, and what they were trying to do in 70 and how it didn't really work. And then in 71, they kind of had to change their whole strategy around the cars. These were kind of a stopgap. The styling is polarizing, to say the least, but you know, it kind of is what it is. But you know, any high impact paint two-door B-body is worth grabbing, at least in my opinion. Don't forget, those were Superbird fenders. That's what they used. Slightly modified 70 Coronet fenders to make the Superbird. All right, well, let my kids mess around the pool for an hour this morning while we were loading this thing up. Now we're gonna go do a bunch of cool stops. This is kind of cool. Custer County Courthouse, built in 1881. They got some neat cars too. 1919 Model T and 1909 International Auto Wagon, used to haul mail, solid tires. I love these old rigs. I don't know if I'm ever gonna own one of these, but I can appreciate the engineering and the oldness of them. This is Crazy Horse Memorial, really near Rushmore. It's interesting. It's actually for sale. This is pretty neat. This is in Hot Springs, South Dakota. It's called the Mammoth Site. There was like this sinkhole and there was 61 individual mammoths found in the ground, and they basically just built a building over it. This is really cool. I mean, my kids are in the fossils right now, but this is really neat. Look at all these mammoths. Wow. This building was a Chrysler dealer back in the day. Pretty cool. They still have the frame up there, so that was like 65. That's like the authorized service sign. I'd love to have that frame. It's a 3x6. I'm kind of running out of those, but I think this antique store is closed. I can't find anybody here. Let me stop by the sheriff's office and see if anybody knows anything. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anybody at the antique shop, and the sheriff's office was even closed, which is kind of weird. You think they'd have an office person, but I guess in these small counties. But this is cool. Just went around the corner and found this. That is Ghost Letters. Definitely a Chevrolet bow tie. Super cool. Let me walk around the building, see if there's anything cool here. Huh, looks like the dealer was turned into a bowling alley. And it's very locked up. That's a big chain. I'm not sure if you can see this through the window, but looks like the roof collapsed, probably under a snow load. That's why it's not here anymore. Really cool building, but obviously nothing inside it anymore. All right, well, I'm gonna do my next thing is we're gonna try to find a grumpy old repair shop in town and ask him some questions, because he usually knows where all the bodies are buried in town. Not sure who this guy is, but I like his style. Look at that Dodge tow truck. Impala. That's neat. Something GM. Wrecked Challenger. That's a good engine donor. Suburban. It's a big repair shop. Jeep. 68 Pontiac. This is cool. This guy must own this whole block. It looks like it's all related. I love this old tow truck. Look at this thing. It's basically tow mater. Sling on the back with a big tire. This thing's been sitting here for a while. Wyoming 88. Huh. Would have thought longer ago. This looks like an old dealer building too. Let me knock on the door. Look at all this cool stuff around here. This is the stuff I'm looking for. That's a 4x4 Chevy. It's a pretty rare thing. There's this kind of stuff everywhere around here. Kitty cat. Hi cat. Train over there moving. Apologize if it's too loud. International Ford truck. Love the spotlight on the roof. Big old crane. F4. Love the old lettering on these. Can't really fake that. You can tell the real stuff. Bueller Transfer Co. Denver, Colorado. Still has the old numbers on it too. Chevrolet. Yeah, Le Mans. Not a GTO. Suburban. Old Cummins back there. Now we're moving on to Montana. Ford Montego 500. You know, it's been sitting there a while when the trailer tires are flat and the car tires are flat, although there's no tires at all. All right, trying to track down the Chrysler dealer in this town. Whoever's house this was really like Mercury's. Got directions from a guy that didn't 100% make sense, but this totally looks like it was a dealer building at some point. What a cool building. Glass bricks and everything. See, it was behind the bank, which doesn't really make sense. It said there's a body shop over here, but I can't quite find it. But what a cool building. Wow, that is a ridiculously rare car. That's a 1961 DeSoto. That's the last year. They only made them for like 2 months. I gotta figure out who owns this. This is the bodybuilder's car shop. They got some interesting stuff too. But yeah, I gotta figure out who owns this. Well, I tracked down the owner and I'm gonna be making an offer on this one. We're gonna see if we can work a deal. I can't bring it back now. I got that Coronet in the trailer, but wow, what a cool car and what a super, super rare car. I'll keep you guys updated on this one. That's kind of crazy. Unless I'm seeing things, I think they're doing like a mega cab crew cab conversion on a Dodge cab. That's kind of cool, actually. Went to Fort Laramie today. Kind of a fascinating place. This was basically the hub at the American West for like 50 years. All the Indian wars are started here. It's kind of cool. They got guides in period uniforms and showing us around. That's cool. Just on the side of the road in Wyoming, 1965 satellite. Which is a little rough, but that's cool. It's a Buick GS over there. Ford pickup, green machine. I went to a local dealer in town here, and fortunately they moved in 2012, so they got rid of everything. So but this is kind of cool. Just kind of driving through town. Old Ford pickup, Oldsmobile, Ford Deluxe. Lots of cool stuff in these little towns. All right, we're gonna go pick up food because we're going to the Badlands today, and there's no food in the Badlands. We're gonna go Subway and go pick some up and be on our way. Old service station with an old Ford fire truck, and that's a Fairlane, a Comet. That's cool. Definitely an old service station. Random stop on the side of the road, but got a number of a guy in town here, and how cool is that? Mopar Parts and Accessories. This came out of the dealer here in town. Super cool. Also, you know, Olympia beer. That one's a little bit rough, but you know, I live in Olympia. I had to bring that one home too. How cool is that? Bullet holes and everything. That thing's seen some stuff. Went up to the Badlands. I read about this online. This is absolutely beautiful. It's called Sheep Table Mountain. It's basically a giant plateau in the middle of the park. How cool is that? By the way, if you wonder where I got my thumbnail picture from, it was here. It's about a 7-mile drive up a gravel road, which is no problem for the Blue Beast. But wow. Badlands National Park, everybody. This is the south unit. Probably the north unit's kind of like the anthill where everybody goes because it's right off the freeway. The south unit's the road less traveled, which is where I like to go. This is the other side of the plateau. Just as cool. Sorry for the wind noise. It's pretty breezy up here. Apparently someone's camping up here. I can't really think of a better place to camp. This is pretty awesome. This is the north unit of the Badlands. This is the one that everybody goes to because there's a big loop from the interstate. Still incredibly pretty. So this is kind of funny. The road we were just on was so rough. I mean, got a twin stick truck here, so it's a little bouncy going down a bouncy road, but look, the tires are trying to turn on the car and it's trying to go sideways. Yes, I know I should cross strap it. I never have. I probably should have. It's also like 100 degrees here right now. It's hot. Here's the Visitor North unit. It's kind of cool. Found a bunch of fossils around here, fossil trail. All right, that's about it for the Badlands. We gotta start heading home. We got 18 hours till home. We still got a few more stops to make. That is really cool. That's funny, the guy in the red truck has a Dave Freiberger 70 Coronet shirt on it. He's like, hey, that's the car on my shirt. That's funny. So my truck keeps on yelling at me that the brakes are disconnected, and I think I found out why. We're on some really, really rough gravel roads today. Like really, really rough gravel roads, and yeah, so I'm gonna have to find a trailer shop tomorrow. I'll stop out of Badlands, and look, buffalo. Now we're heading to Wall Drug. If you haven't heard of it, you're about to. For those that don't know, Wall Drug is like the tourist of tourist traps. It's this giant complex in Wall, South Dakota. And if you've ever driven down I-90 through South Dakota, there's an ad every mile for it. It's crazy. It's actually one of the things in Washington that's really nice. They actually outlawed, she's cute. They actually outlawed roadside signs. So, but yeah, we had to stop, get dinner. Wife and kids are currently shopping, trying to buy stuff they probably don't need. Made it to Devil's Tower right before sunset. Unfortunately, the road up there used to be 24 hours. Now it's not. So we're gonna get a little bit closer, but it's pretty awesome. It's a giant thing, giant piece of granite sticking out of the ground. Stopping by a Napa in the middle of Wyoming here to, hopefully they have a new taillight. It's pretty common one. Whoever runs the Napa must be this guy over here, because there's some cool stuff over here. Obviously a Ford and Jeep guy. CJ on the trailer, Highboy, Ranchero, a Ford pickup. Another CJ. Cool. I've got the taillight fixed. It hasn't fallen out yet, so I must have done something right. Yeah, it's a light bulb instead of an LED, but it is what it is. So we're just stopped by our friend Dwayne's place here in central Wyoming. We're gonna have a little more from this other place here pretty soon. Just kind of want to show you some of the cool stuff he had here. This is a 1968 Roadrunner. I think his son Mark just bought this. But yeah, real Roadrunner. I mean, she's seen some stuff, but it's getting hard to find any of these anymore. Yep, RM21 HOG. I think it's red. Yeah, it needs full quarters, but at least AMD makes all this stuff. Tail panel there, decor package car. Well, maybe not actually. So it has the finish panel, and it's a post car, but it doesn't have the chrome piece right there, which is interesting. Usually that's saved for non-decor cars. So almost every Roadrunner got decor package, which is basically just like rear armrest, a cigarette lighter, just give you a little bit more stuff, but they're supposed to have a chrome molding there, and this actually doesn't have that, which is interesting. But it has the finish panel, because that was part of the package too. I love non-decor Roadrunners without the pillar. I just think that's really cool. I've had a couple of those over the years, and no finish panel. I think the finish panel is a little gaudy on these. That's in DeSoto. So this is kind of their lot in town. They have a yard outside town. We're gonna go visit here in a minute after we're done here. I love the lighted DeSoto head. It's super cool. We got one of these at the shop right now. It's significantly worse than that one. And the famous Power Wagon, 1-ton dually 4-wheel drive. Power Wagon 300. What a cool name. What a cool emblem. The 74 Scamp. Rally wheels. There's a little bit of quarter work. We kind of all need that out here. $2,400. Not quite roadworthy. It does have power disc brakes though. There's the buyer's guide. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot worse. All right, I'm gonna try to find some food here in town and go feed my children before they get whiny, and we're gonna go out to his yard and I'm gonna show you a couple cool things out there, because it's gonna be a little bit of a surprise. Apparently this used to be an old A&W. I love these old towns where they just have these buildings that are available like super cheap because the businesses leave, and it'd be nice to have a couple good buildings like this. Fortunately, where I'm at, everything's super expensive. And here's our next stop, and you might be thinking to yourself, this looks a little bit familiar. That's because it is. Roadkill stopped here. So I'm kind of following in the footprints of Roadkill here, and I'm gonna do a full tour, but I'm gonna tease you guys a little bit. It's gonna be next week because there's a lot to film here, and I'm gonna do a whole different video on it. This is gonna be the end of on this one, and then stay tuned for next weekend for a full video on it. Ooh, 340 Duster. At the Cody Western Museum. It's like the biggest firearm collection in the world, apparently. But yeah, here's some car content for you. Henry Ford basically copied the Winchester gun line. Well, second to last night on the trip. Boy, Taco Bell's doing a business, and people are shooting fireworks everywhere. 4th of July, America. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm trying to post this video tomorrow morning, so here's the ending. Hope everybody enjoyed coming along with it. I know there was a little more America beauty travel show than cars on this, but hopefully it's nice potpourri of stuff that everybody liked. So this is Tom with Rocket Restorations signing off. We'll talk to you guys soon.